Good afternoon. This is Greg with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors. We're at 3762 South Gramercy Place, and we're performing a video inspection.
But you took the drugs, right? Give me the drugs.
Good. And our cleanout today is in the ground near the front door. We're in the 4-inch cleanout. And we're in a plastic sewer line. You can watch if you wish, just for fun.
Are we recording right now?
Yes, we are recording right now.
Okay.
So anything you say gets recorded. But for show, here we are. We're in a plastic sewer line, and it's maybe behind me. You can see it a little bit better. There we go. So the sewer line's going out this way, and it's made of plastic, which is really good. It's ABS plastic. My screen has a little bit of fuzz on it, but this is new, so they've replaced this, which is a good thing. Plastic doesn't wear out. It lasts for, they say it will last for hundreds of years. We haven't had it for hundreds of years to really know. But cast iron, which is what this probably was originally, rusts out, and it has about an 80-year lifespan.
So to replace it, they literally had to dig that up?
Yes, sir. And that's something to know about, because if you had to replace it, it's an expense, obviously. If there's cast iron under the house, and cast iron has a lifespan of about 50 to 80 years, and it just doesn't, it's great stuff, but it just rusts out. So after 80 years, so if you have cast iron under the house, if it's still working, which would be great, it's something to replace in the not too distant future. So here we're transitioning from plastic to clay. And clay has been a sewer line material for a long time, thousands of years actually.
So you're about 18 feet, that measurement below?
That's correct. We're 18 feet going that way as it's spooling off the reel here. Clay is good. It also can last indefinitely, like a Roman vase, you know. It doesn't react to sewage, it doesn't rust. It can, however, crack, and it can allow for roots to get into it. And they can be quite invasive, and if they're allowed to go too long, they can crack the pipe. So that's what we're interested in looking for. But so far, we see actually a really clean sewer line. Yay, yes, that's right.
I've never heard of that from Williams Sewer Line. I just want to let you know. I've never heard that.
That it's clean?
I've never heard of this.
Well,
yeah, there's usually separation, you know, roots that you see dangling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now here we have a slight offset, not bad. That's where the pipes kind of shift a little bit. You see, he's kind of over this way a bit. But
still clay.
But still clay, and it's still a slight separation is not a bad thing. Or not a we're not leaking sewerage into the ground. You know, that's kind of, there's 2 points of failure with any sewer line. One, if it's just pouring into the ground, you know, which wouldn't be good, or if it's backing up. Really? Have you ever seen such a clean line before?
I've never seen a line.
Well. There you go, see?
Maybe. The left is to the ground, right? That's off.
What's that?
Like the water to the left?
Yes.
It's just saying, okay.
My self-leveling camera isn't self-leveling, so
Got it.
so we're
Just making sure. Like,
the bottom is over there,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're about ready to make a it's like a right-hand turn here.
41 feet. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the street.
So so now we're transitioning probably over into the street and into a larger pipe here.
Which is still ours.
It's still yours. This part was installed by the city, but now belongs to you. And here, what do we have here? Yeah, still clay.
Is that a separation or the light difference?
That's a slight separation, a slight offset. This pipe is a little bit higher than this pipe, but that,
You're looking at that C.
yeah, this crescent moon
Yeah.
thing here, yeah. This pipe is just sunken down a little bit.
Oh, but now the water's to the right.
Well, now, yeah, so now this is the bottom of the pipe.
Oh, we switched. Okay,
Yeah.
so the separation's at the top.
Right.
Okay.
Or it's the latter pipe is sunk down.
Oh, this way went down, yeah.
The way they connect these things, you probably see them, there's a bell end at one side and a straight end at another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they sometimes, you get this little bit of separation when they're trying to make it turn a little bit. Not a terrible thing. Here we see,
Is that a bug?
no, some little tiny roots. So we do have some roots, but they're not. I suspect that this line was probably hydrojetted in the not too, like a year or two ago. What hydrojet is, roots can grow into a clay line pretty easily. So it's a high pressure spinning jet, and it will cut out all the roots. I have one in my truck. But that's the way to clean out root intrusions, because by the nature of clay, on the older clay, when they put them together, they used cement, and cement's rather porous, so the roots would sense the water, sense the moisture, and work their way in. And
So even under the street, clay.
yeah. And here we have some very minor roots coming in. You can see them on the side there, like just hairline. See those?
Yeah.
But that's way not an issue for now. It would be something. Like I said, I suspect that these guys had the line cleaned. There's some more. Probably a year ago, just a guess. And so you probably want to have the line.
What's that? Okay.
No, I think that's just some debris in the sewer line.
So we're 98 feet into it?
55 feet.
55.
55, yeah. And we kind of have a long front yard, so I think we'll see the city sewer.
Oh, we're still in our yard. Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea how long the front yard is.
Yeah. I think it's probably about. Oh, there's a bug.
Yeah, there's that. He's not happy. It was missing.
And here is another separation. Not too bad. Up here we have a. This is marking the end of your line. This is probably right as we're going under the sidewalk.
Okay.
They have a. That's where they test it.
So now we're into the city property?
I would think so. I will locate where all this is in a moment with a tool that I have a little radio finder in my camera head, so we'll see where it ends up. And that's just going and going and going. The reason I'm late the last place I was in, it was on a hill, and I thought that the sewer line went down the hill, and so I was searching all over this silly hill. Turns out the sewer line went around the house and out the front. Like, why'd you do that? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
So,
I've done a sewer inspection on a hill in Echo Park. It took 3 hours. We could not find that thing. We had no idea where it was.
Like, you couldn't find this starting point?
well, the starting point was actually in their crawl space. So I was in their crawl space, and it went out the back of the house, and then they had this long hill. So I was assuming it went down the hill, but actually what is it? And so I was walking all over the hill with my locator tool, which is around here,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it. And so I started looking around the house, and sure enough, it was the thing had
The little treasure finder.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
really.
And it's like words and beads.
yeah.
It's like the clothes hanger, you kind of like floating around with it. We're going to end up popping out of someone else's toilet right now, 83 feet.
Just about
Yeah.
now.
So here, interestingly, this is probably right at the end of your. We're probably not, just now at the street. 83 feet, and it's going into a bigger pipe here, and this pipe is installed by the city, although it's your responsibility still. It's a concrete pipe. You'll notice the granular, and they stopped installing concrete pipe a number of years ago, because it does degrade. This is actually looking like it's in pretty good shape.
So, like, they redid our plumbing in our street. We have an apartment right now, but if the city ever did that, would they ask for money from every property to replace their part of the concrete?
Well, no, they what they do. Well, let me push through to the city. More explanation. They run their city line, and then they run offshoots, and then we basically that becomes your property. So, but they'll replace the one that goes down the center of the street. 98 feet. My goodness. Now I'm wondering if I'm going to push a little further. We might just have.
Are we in the city connection?
I think we actually are in the city connection. I might have missed the turn there. I don't quite think it's 100 feet away. And we have water flowing here, so that's kind of indicative of the fact that we're actually in the city line.
I can grab mine. Or did you want to, just give me a second to grab mine, and we'll do it right.
Okay. That will conclude this portion of the video. Please see the full written report for all final details. So I'm going to